Well, hey guys, welcome back to Rob's Arcade. I'm your host, Rob French. Now, today should prove to be a truly excellent episode of Rob's Arcade for a couple of reasons. Go ahead and dive into those right now. One, specifically, this is the second episode of today. If that's not a reason to celebrate, I don't know what is. Typically, I come to you guys with a little Wednesday midweek breakdown and just kind of hang out with you guys and talk about what's going on. Do some casual gameplay as I do so, and like I said, just kind of hang out with you guys in like a semi talk show sort of fashion. But as I've promised to do like more regular scheduled programming as well as more like one-on-one face-to-face videos with you guys, I thought today would be a great opportunity to jump on that. And even though I've already done a video today, you guys are going to get a bonus episode. So it's also a special video because it's a tribute video to the founder of Lego. Today is his birthday, his 103rd birthday if he were still alive, like a zombie. When it was like Lego Hidden Side Monsters. But yeah, I was actually heading out with my wife today. We've been doing a thing where we get lunch and go to the comic book shop on Wednesday. And while I was getting ready, I came across something on Twitter and saw that it was actually his birthday. And I thought it'd be a really cool thing to like maybe, do a little tribute and do some Lego unboxing here with you guys. I've got like about 13 Lego sets just sitting, waiting to be unboxed. So I figured it'd be a great time to hang out with you, open up some boxes, put together some Lego sets, do a little review on the man of the hour, Ole Kirk Christensen, the founder of Lego, like I said. Which we wouldn't have any of this stuff if it wasn't for this guy. Who knew that such a simple little building toy would expand to where it is now. It's one of those things. Whenever I think about Lego, I'm always amazed. I used to work at a toy store in my early 20s, like really early, like maybe 2021. And I was really surprised when I started working there that they were able to endure through like the video game. Because like, remember Xbox was starting to really come out around this time. Yeah, the GameCube was getting ready to launch, I think, around this time as well. And I was still getting back into Lego at this point. I was always like a big fan of Lego, but I remember getting back into it because they were doing a lot of cool things with Star Wars, Harry Potter, I think. Maybe not Harry Potter at this point. I can't quite remember. But I know like a lot of cool Star Wars stuff was coming out. And like Lego was kind of reinventing itself. But I remember being worried in like early 2000s because, they had a big monster to compete with this video gaming and this digital world. But it's really amazing. They found a way to kind of work themselves into the video game world, into the mobile phone and the apps and all of these things. So it's really amazing that, it's a toy that adapts itself to be whatever you need it to be: a house, a boat, a plane, whatever. But it's also a company that kind of adapts itself to be whatever it needs to be in the times that it's in, whether it be a building toy or a video game, a phone app, or even an animated movie. So I don't know. I think the creator of this company would really be amazed at what it's done, what it's endured. I recommend watching the Netflix "The Toys That Made Us" special. There's no way I can do the company any justice in this short little video that I'm going to do, but it is well worth the watch and just a lot of fun if you're a Lego fan to kind of get like a history and a background on it. So definitely check that out on Netflix if you haven't the opportunity. And I'm not going to really bore you guys with a whole lot of information here. Let's just go ahead and jump into some Lego unboxing. Let's get it, guys. All right, guys. Now for the unboxing video today, I had a lot of sets to choose from. I had like a dozen sets. I decided to go with the Spider-Man sets. that my friend Andrew Palladino picked up for me yesterday. Oddly enough, big shout out to Andrew. It's like he knew. It's like he knew today was the creator of Lego's birthday, and he's like, I gotta get Rob some Lego sets. Plus, I told him, dude, you gotta get me some Lego sets. Now these sets are really cool. I had this one backwards. Here we go. It was funny. We were just talking too about like Lego sets, him and I, and like Avengers sets and different sets, Star Wars and stuff that were out right now. But we're really talking about a lot of different Avengers sets, especially with Iron Man and some of the new things they had out. And then we also were talking about the Fast and the Furious hot rod, Dom's infamous hot rod. It was really funny. Like he picked out these two, which is kind of like, it's Marvel, Spider-Man, kind of Avenger-esque. We're kind of like talking about some of that stuff. And then it's also got this like badass hot rod that's very like Fast and the Furious esque. That's a tongue twister. But it was just wild. It's like, oh my gosh, we're kind of talking about that movie, and it's kind of got like a little bit of all of it, a little bit of Marvel, a lot of bit of Marvel, and then a little bit of the Fast and the Furious as well. And these are really cool sets. It's got the Venom and the Carnage thing going on here. And then again, with Iron Man, we got this Iron Venom here, which is a really cool character. And then you've always got these, I love these little like robots. There's a lot of times in the animated series, you get these cool robots. Kingpin is always paying some mad scientist to put together some kind of a spider hunter to take Spider-Man down. And I also like this set too because it has, if you get in on there, the Spider-Mobile or the Spider Buggy, as I like to refer to it, which was an odd idea. Like this thing was introduced actually in the comic books. It's been referenced and used a lot. I actually have a Deadpool comic from Italy with Spider-Man and his Spider-Mobile on there. This was like introduced back in like 74, I think. Yeah, 74. Amazing Spider-Man number 130. And it's kind of funny. It was commissioned by like a Corona company, not the virus, a Corona company to like to make this like pollution-free car and get Spider-Man to kind of like endorse this thing. But it's just odd. Like Spider-Man doesn't need a car. Like I think part of his powers in being able to, swing around the city and get through traffic is what makes this guy so appealing. So I don't know if that was such a great move. But creators come up with some goofball, some funny ideas. Maybe a way to sell new toys, probably, if you ask me. But all in all, just a goofy kind of gimmick. But really fun to have that in there. Kind of a classic, iconic piece of Spider-Man. I think it's like in the comics, it's on loan at the Smithsonian or something, probably next to Captain America's shield at this point. And then we got this cool set here, which includes the Ghost Rider. Get down here and see there. Carnage. Another Spider-Man minifigure. I probably got like 6. No, I wouldn't say 6. Probably like 3 or 4 Spider-Man figures at this point. So now I've definitely got 6. I think I've got a Carnage somewhere. Maybe a Venom too. So this is kind of cool. Kind of adding to my Spider-Man collection. So let's go ahead and see. We'll dig into these guys here. See what we got. I always like to use a X-Acto knife when looking into these guys, opening up my packages. Now Lego has always done a really great job. I love graphics on boxes and stuff. And I think that's why I'm still like a big fan of toys. It's just I just geek out over the graphics, and they always do a great job with packaging. And even though they don't always show you other sets, they do usually in the booklets have like the other lines in the feature. Now, before I do open this and jump into this, like I went with Spider-Man today. He's a man. He's back there for a few reasons. He was also like one of the first characters that I really got into as far as comic books go. Like I think Wolverine, Punisher introduced me to the world of comic books as far as superheroes go. Before that, it was like horror comics, Tales from the Crypt, stuff like that. Some Disney comics here and there. But I definitely jumped like right into Spider-Man, and I picked these to today because I just wanted to say a little bit about him as well, and that there's a certain appeal. I feel like Spider-Man is kind of like, uh, like the Mickey Mouse, if you will, to the like to the Marvel company. You know, it's like that iconic mascot. You know, you got Walt Disney and you got Mickey Mouse, and I kind of feel like you have the same thing. You got Stan Lee, and then you got Spider-Man, and it's like even though the two created a lot, those two characters I feel like are the two iconic kind of characters, and he's almost I feel like he's the face of Marvel Comics, and just so beloved, which is really odd to me when I was thinking about this earlier. Just pondering Spider-Man and why we love him. And I think he is an everyman's superhero because you don't know what he looks like under this garb. He could be black, he could be white, he could be Asian. They've introduced now, the female Spider-Man, so they have a mask to stand behind as well. And I just feel like he's like he's universal. He's there for everybody. But oddly enough, he's one of those superheroes that just deals with day-to-day problems. And I think it's really funny that like, I kind of gravitated to him and everybody kind of gravitates to this guy, even kids, don't really understand everything about Spider-Man, but they're just drawn to this guy. But he's like one of the few superheroes out there that just deals with like day-to-day problems. Like Wolverine and I feel like Iron Man are always dealing with some kind of like international, galactic, global, alien, robotic crisis where it's just everything is falling apart. And yeah, Spider-Man's dealing with the Green Goblin and he has his own fires to put out in New York. But at the end of the day, a lot of his problems in between the cover is him trying to pay rent, work out his relationship problems with Mary Jane, trying to get his boss to like him. I mean, these are all just like everyman problems. And just maybe that's why people are drawn to him. But it's just always so amazing to me that kids love Spider-Man so much, where there's just like, just so many adult problems laced throughout, this comic. But yeah, there is something special about Spider-Man, and I do remember just seeing that costume, being drawn to that costume, being drawn to those colors. And even before I even really got into comics, Spider-Man was one of the first comics I ever read. It wasn't an actual full-size comic book, but High C did a really cool promotion back in the day. Actually, I think I might be able to pull it up on this thing here, where they had these little mini comic books that you could collect in High C packages. And there's like four of them. And at first, I always thought it was the Sinister Six, but it looks like he's going up against what seems to be the Enforcers here. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe if I hold it that way. There we go. But this was the comic book I actually had. I remember having this comic book growing up. And it was one of the very first comic books I ever read. It was a little, meaning it's about the size of this, maybe a little bit smaller than this actually. But I remember thinking like he was just a badass character because he was taking on like these like four guys. And most of the time it was like Batman fighting the Joker, Superman fighting Lex Luthor, just one character fighting another. But here we had Spider-Man just fighting like four guys, just one guy. And I was like, wow, that's a really cool idea. And, typically if like, Superman was facing multiple villains, he had the Justice League to kind of back him up. So the idea of like this one superhero taking on more than just one bad guy, I was like, wow, this is a pretty impressive hero. And then he was like funny. He cuts jokes in between the fights and everything. But yeah, I just wanted to share my love for Spider-Man there for a minute. I think I've always loved Spider-Man. I think I looked at Spider-Man as a cool teacher growing up too, because he was like always in the college scene. He looked like a teacher, like you could talk to with your problems. Like, Mr. Parker, I'm having girl problems. You guys are making fun of me. I recommend, before jumping into Lego 2, getting some of these guys. It's great to kind of like separate your pieces. So go ahead and raid your wife or your mom's Tupperware containers. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and jump in, unbox these guys. Finally left me talking about stupid comic books and whatever. Okay, we got our instruction booklet here. They've now got these cool little codes. I don't want to hold up to the camera. It might take me to an actual site by accident. And then, yeah, like I said, in the back here, they'll show you all the different sets you can pick up from this line, which I think is really cool. I think that's really important to show customers other products in the same line. They were interested in collecting all the different sets. So here we got our little fire pieces, which I kind of like that here. Again, if you look on the front here on the graphics, you got them on the rear wheel. But then here you spin the box, and it looks like they've placed them on the front. So it looks like you can kind of move them around and set this up differently. Oh no, I lost some Lego here. But yeah, here we go. And then you can kind of break these up and put these in your different little compartments here. So it looks like we've got one nice big bag here, and then 3 of these smaller bags, which the third is just basically like little orange pieces for the fire and stuff. So all in all, not too bad, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and check out what's in this box here. Like this little idea here of the Venom with the blue propulsion flames. Be careful, kids, with the X-Acto knife if you're going to use an X-Acto knife. I'm a trained professional. Let's see what we got in here. All these got like projectiles too, like on the front engine on this other car, it's got like rockets, and this thing like shoots, which is kind of odd. I feel like there was a part of Lego that didn't ever want to make like projectile gun kind of things. Now the characters like have like really like detailed guns, and I've got an instruction booklet here. But the characters all have like really detailed guns, and then on top of that, also like, you know, a lot of these things fire. Star Wars, a lot of these sets all fire rockets and all kinds of things now. Okay, cool. Then we got some cool decals here. This looks like for the robot walker. So we got instruction booklet, and then 3 nice sized bags here. Looks like a couple of mini bags inside each one of these. Very cool. And then, let's see here. Should be able to also see more. Yeah, here we go. Even more sets. Spider-Man. And this will give you all your pieces, which I think this is kind of cool. You can now like, you know, go online and like order your own pieces. So if you wanted to, you could literally like order all the pieces you would need, but maybe in red and blue, and make your own like Spider-Man, Spider-Walker. That'd be kind of neat. I don't know, just an idea. Or even different colors, you know. It would have to be even Spider-Man. You can make like an Iron Man one. Red and gold or something. Anyway. All right, let's go put these sets together, and I'll tell you what I think about each one when I'm done. All right. Awesome. All right, guys. Welcome back as we celebrate the founder of Lego and his birthday today, Mr. Ole Kirk Christensen. Now, he was born today back in 1851. You can find all this on Wikipedia. This is nothing crazy. But I was talking about Spider-Man. I figured, you know, we are doing a video kind of like to his birthday. I might as well say a few words about this guy as well. He was born April 7th back in 1851. Founded the Lego Group Company. It was a toy company, Danish toy company, in 1932, and then renamed the company Lego in 1934. Now, when they first came on the scene, they were known for making wooden toys. I think a lot of toy companies were first known for making wooden toys. And in fact, a lot of wooden toys were kind of like the prototypes for a lot of toy companies when making toys. Star Wars, Transformers, and even G.I. Joe kind of started off in wooden forms before making their way into plastic, which is kind of what happened with Lego. It was a wooden toy company, and then in 1947, they made the switch over to plastic molds, making little brick pieces. And then from there, we've got some amazing, cool stuff. In 1958, he passed away, and his son took over the company for a little while. And again, the company's changed hands quite a number of times. You should really, like, again, look into the Netflix special, "The Toys That Made Us." There's a great episode on Lego. It made me tear up. Like I said, Lego's been something I've been playing with since I was a small child, probably like 7 or 8. And I really remember getting into it. And I had a really cool desk growing up, almost an L, excuse me, like an L-shaped desk growing up. And in the bottom, they had like a file cabinet drawer, and it was just full of Lego. And that's where I would sit and kind of put all my stuff together. And I still have a few pieces from that time. But yeah, happy birthday, old Kirk. But yeah, let's go ahead and take these Lego, or yeah, these Spider-Man Lego sets that I put together, and take a look at these guys. And let's go ahead and see, what we have. We'll start off first, I guess, with the Spider-Mobile and the Walker set, which, again, if you've ever watched like the animated series that used to come on Fox, this definitely reminds me of like some of the Spider Hunters that they had on the Fox series. Really cool set. Now this set, it took me about an hour and a half or so to put together. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed putting this buggy together. I really enjoy vehicles just in general. And it always amazes me. I never really am quite sure where a lot of times these things are going when I'm putting together. I'm like, how is this going to work? And then all of a sudden it all kind of flushes out. And like I said, it doesn't quite make sense for Spider-Man to have a car when he can swing around the city, but you got to sell toys. And then you got these cool little web shooters here on the side. You just pop that, and you got some cool little. Oh, well, that one's gone. Some cool little firepower, so he can shoot his webs while he's driving. Really like the little buggy. It's got a nice, smooth control, cool colors. Very, very traditional to the Spider Buggy, Spider-Mobile look that I know from the comics. I'm looking at the comic right now. Now, the second part here, this vehicle was really neat. This took the most time, very intricate with all the legs, and that was a little repetitive. You had to put 4 together and 4 together, and so a lot of the times you were just kind of sitting back and kind of putting together the same pieces like over and over again. Which, is part of, you got 8 legs, you got to, make 8 legs, and you got this cool little, again, some firepower back here. And it's got this neat detail here with the tongue and the teeth. And these are kind of like newer pieces, I feel, recently that weren't always around when I was a kid. These are like semi-newer pieces. And same with these like little tentacle pieces that they've done recently, which kind of just gives you some cool mouth effects. Just really looks like an evil little spider there. And then they put a neat little effect in here as well. So when you roll it across the table there, the legs will actually move up and down, and you can get some like cool, creepy little motion in there. Really neat little toy. Then I thought that this set was like Venom and Carnage teaming up. You get the cool little Carnage. Venom and Spider-Man teaming up to take out Carnage, but this looks like it's just a Carnage and Iron Man Venom team up here. So you get this little character back here. Let me go ahead and show you the Iron Venom character, which I really do like this little minifigure a lot. It's pretty cool. It's got a great blend of the 2 costumes on the chest plate there. Got the nice little boosters, and then this is something new, relatively new here as well with the Lego pieces. I've seen these a lot. I got it recently with the Marvel Captain Marvel set, one of those little like bag sets in the registers. You kind of little $5 last minute buys, and then you just kind of press these in, and you can actually fire these as well, which is pretty cool. And then The helmet does not flip up, which I thought was kind of weird that they didn't do like a cool Iron Man flip up piece. Just, I don't know why they wouldn't. But it does have like the reversible head. So you've got like this, traditional Tony here. And then they got the cool, like what he sees on his screen. The little grid there. It's kind of out of focus because it's focusing on me. And then of course the helmet goes back on. And then you put him up front to control this little guy. Which I'm not sure how this would work out in the storyline. Because I kind of feel like, the Venom would bond with Iron Man. But then I guess with this Iron Man have like one of these spider hunter things, like just like laying around. Like he must have commissioned this pretty quickly. Just kind of refurbished something he had already laying around in his garage, maybe. I don't know. But I like the set a lot. It was a very easy build. Like it's a little repetitive once you got into here, but very cool finished product. And, if you have a great line or collection already of Marvel Lego sets, this will look really cool among the rest of your collection. Now, the other set, almost knocked the camera over again, Robert, be careful, was the Hot Rod with the Ghost Rider figure here. Now, this was a little like disappointing too. This is like probably the only disappointing feature of the set is that so this character here has like this weird metal skull thing going on. It's not like your traditional white skull, and I'm guessing that's because it has something to do with like the hot rod aspect of the set here. But I thought like that'd be an easy fix. You could maybe just pull the flame off and put it on like a white skull if you wanted a more traditional Ghost Rider. But it's actually bonded to the headpiece, which is very strange. I don't know many like Lego pieces that are bonded like that. Like usually the helmets, the hair pieces, all of that kind of come off. So pretty strange move on Lego's part, but whatever. Cool minifigure nonetheless. Another Spider-Man minifigure, of course. And then this is kind of like the Venom minifigure that I have, where he's got these trindles coming off. The other one I have is more of like a pinwheel kind of effect, but same thing. You can kind of do some cool little poses with these guys here. Maybe even like hold Spider-Man in your clutches. There you go. But a neat little minifigure. And then the Ghost Rider goes in this really cool hot rod set here. Now, I was looking at this, and this kind of makes sense now, looking at like the seat is really deep inside the set. Like it's almost in the bottom of the set. But I guess that's because you got this super long flame effect going on here. So I guess I want to make sure you can get the roof of the hot rod on. Oh no, I just broke it. The thing with Lego always too is, taking it apart and playing with it is always best on a table with lots of support, because if you always support these things in like just one or two places, typically that's when like things start to snap and pop off and move around. Again, with the vehicle, putting together the bottom pieces here, that was really strange. I was really wondering how all that was going to kind of come together, but it definitely gives it that kind of like supercharged hot rod look. You get it all the smooth angles all around here on the bottom, which is really neat. And then, of course, you can start to remove some of these pieces to add on the flame effect. Now, I didn't do the flame effect here for the video. You have like whole other little adaptions that you put on to do the flame effect. So you can have the car in like the traditional hot rod mode, or you can add the flame effects later. I was also a little disappointed in the fact that these little pieces for the firewheel I thought were, excuse me, which I thought were like positioned differently on the front and the back of the box, but it's not like they put one on the front and then on the other side of the box they put them on the back. It's actually two separate. You don't get I figured you would get like maybe like two of these or something, and you just put like two and two. Because I don't know, to me it just looks better when they're kind of coming off the same tire. Not so much like on the same side or like caddy corner. Like, I don't know. That looks kind of weird. Like, to me this looks like the best option, but then why wouldn't you just put two of the same size? So I don't know. That's a little weird. And then with the some of the fire effects for the car, you can actually get, which I found the Ghost Rider to can actually hold like this guy here. And I don't know if like ever seen like the Ghost Rider actually throwing fireballs, but that's a cool little thing you can do there with the fire effects for the car. And this set only took about maybe 40 minutes to put together, the car hot rod set. And again, I love putting these things together and just kind of seeing how, like, all right, how is this going to fit? How is this going to be part of a car? And all of a sudden you flip it upside down and it clicks into place, and you're like, oh wow, okay, that's actually pretty neat. This probably needs more support. You don't have anything really here on the windshield to kind of like hold up the back part. It's just kind of like falling into nothing, which also I feel like why it keeps popping off. There's nothing to really support it on the inside there. So if this thing goes to rolling, Ghost Rider's a dead man. And then of course you got some more little firepower here, which is pretty neat. All in all, I mean, I give both these sets 10 out of 10. Just super cool. As a Spider-Man fan, as a Lego fan, just a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed, like I said, putting together vehicles and cars, and I like this one a lot. Just not only is because it's the Ghost Rider hot rod car, but again, it reminds me so much of the Charger. Was it a Charger? I don't know if it was a Charger or not, but the hot rod from Fast and the Furious, the first one, that Dom, takes across the railroad tracks at the very end. Very cool car. And I guess also this is taken from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. version of Ghost Rider, which they have a hot rod car instead of the traditional motorcycle. Well, anyway, there we go, guys. Happy birthday, Mr. Old Kirk Christensen. Thank you so much for creating Lego and giving us decades and decades of entertainment and fun. I recently just got my wife some Lego for Easter, and she was kind of like, really, you got me Lego for Easter? And she wound up putting together some sets and had a really good time and really enjoyed herself. And I think it was actually the first time she put together like a whole Lego set, just by herself. She's helped me with, tons of Lego sets, but this was the first one that she did, just on her own, by herself, for herself. And she had a great time. You're never too old, I guess, to start. But anyway, I hope you guys like this. Hope you enjoyed getting 2 videos in one day. I might see you guys back this Friday for a new Game Friday. We'll just have to wait and see. But as always, guys, I appreciate you just kind of hanging out and watching. And, hopefully you've found this a little entertaining and a little informative. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, all that jazz. And until next time, don't spend your quarter anywhere else. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.